Hello everybody, Lonna Lamb here. I'm up in the corner. See me up in the corner? I made myself pretty small today because I want these bottle openers to be front and center for you to see. We're going to paint a gorgeous bottle opener today. This one right here that has love on it. You can use any fonts from your computer that you have. I just hand drew these letters. There's no pattern. Just make some fun letters. What I did was I laid this upside down on tracing paper and got the size of what my bottle opener was here and moved in about 1/4 of an inch from the top or the bottom, and that's where I put my letters. So just have fun with it and be very, very creative. You don't have to have the same letters that I have. Make it fun and interesting. There's all kinds of fonts on your computer that you can use. I used the Love color paints on my letters, but the black here is just Americana black paint, and then this is a gold paint pen that I had. The key thing to these bottle openers is the prepping and the finishing. So those two things, vitally important to make your bottle opener stand out and look gorgeous. I just absolutely love all these. I do have a video on my YouTube channel for this one, very quick, very easy. It is actually my favorite because it looks antique, kind of looks like wood, and I love antiques, so I just absolutely love that one. And then this one I did a live on, different color background, but you know, the same style of painting. This one I painted up like 12 years ago, just a long time ago. And this one was red, this one was green, this one was pink, I think. That one might have been orange, I don't know. I'll have to watch the video and see what color it was. But they come in just plain colors like this, which you can grab on my website, lonnalamb.com. They are sorted colors, so when you order them, I just grab one out of the container and send it to you. I don't dig through there and find a specific color, so you can't request a specific color. But they are a lot of fun. Doesn't matter what color they are to start out with, because we're going to change it and make it the color we want it to be. I do have a coupon code down there in the corner. Shop now, 20% off your total order. That coupon code is good until July 23rd, 2025, because my website will be closing after that, revamping, reevaluating, and all that stuff. So if you want to get these, and I've sold out 3 times already, if you want to get these, head over to lonnalamb.com, 20% off, coupon code SHOP NOW. So we're going to take one of these and turn it into this one today on this video, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. It still was a very quick project. So if you're ready, let's grab our paints, whatever paints you want to use, and supplies, and let's get painting. Alright, I'm going to paint up another one of my bottle openers. I've got these two painted up. This one I painted up like 12 years ago, and this one I painted just recently. So much fun to paint up. You can do so many different styles and designs. So I'm going to paint this pink one up. They come in assorted colors. You don't have to paint them at all if you don't want to paint them. One thing I want to point out is they have these little nub things on there. Now you can still paint right over them, but what I did on this pink one to make it more smooth, see, it doesn't have the raised nubs like this one has, because it's just little dots of this plastic on top of this. I just took a putty knife and scraped those right off of there so that it was flat. Okay, so that's all you need to do to get those you know, flat and get those raised bumps off there. If you don't want them, you could probably sand them off as well, but that putty knife worked quite well to just remove anything that we had on there. Alright, so I am going to put some paint adhesion. I've already got some paint adhesion medium on here, but I'm going to put some more on it. And so I'm just going to squirt some out here on my palette paper. You don't need a whole lot of this. I'm going to grab an old brush and just to apply this on and to also put my base coat on here. You can use a sponge. On these two, I sponged on with like a sea sponge, 2 colors, the blue and the white. I did a really light purple on this one, lavender haze and white on my damp sea sponge. And then on this one I came back and put a wash of this twilight on there to get it that deep purple, but you can still see the texture that was made by the other 2 colors behind it. And this one is just turquoise and white, just kind of tapped on there in a modeling effect. Okay, lots of ways that you can paint these. So I'm going to put a coat of another coat of paint adhesion medium on here. Now you can let this dry completely, or you can go straight in with your paint, or you can let it just tack up a little bit. I'm going to let it get tacky a little bit. I don't want any globs of this setting anywhere. Try and smooth it out as best I can. I have a little bit of water in my brush, so it made some bubbles on there. I don't really want those bubbles. So with this product, I use it on everything. I use it on glass, I use it on tin, plastic, vinyl, whatever you want to use it on. And I generally put 2 coats on because I want to make sure I've got coverage on all of the surface before I start applying my paint. Now on the instructions, it does say to mix with your paint, but I've never done it that way, to be honest with you. I've always just applied it directly to my surface. It does the same thing that multi-purpose sealer, the stuff that I'm always telling you to put on wood, helps seal the surface, helps create a bond with the paint and the surface, and that's what this paint adhesion medium does. It creates a bond with the surface so that your paint will adhere to it. Okay. Alright, I don't need to clean out my brush if I don't want to. I'm going to give this just a minute to tack up. And I'm going to paint it. Now you can use just acrylic paint, or you can use Traditions paints, you can use multi-surface paints, whatever kind of paint that you want to use. Let's put a little black out here and we'll go from there. Give it just a minute to tack up because I don't want to be lifting it as I paint on my black. I'm just going to go right into my black with this dirty brush. If you've got a lot still loaded in there, go over to your paper towel and just wipe the excess out. And then you can get to painting. I'm going to give this a little quick set here so that we can move on. Now on these 2, I believe I let the paint adhesion medium dry completely. This one I just want it to be tacky, so I can feel it's not completely dry, it's just tacky. So I'm going to start up here on the top and paint it and give it a quick dry so that I can hold it from the top to paint the bottom part. I've used this paint adhesion medium on a lot of things. Actually in our home we had a corner piece when we moved and it would not come off without damaging the wall. It was a plastic clear corner piece. You know, those things that protect the corners. And it would not come off without damaging the wall. So before the painter could paint, I had to get that plastic prepped. So I applied 2 coats of the paint adhesion medium And so the next day when he came to paint, he was able to, paint it without any problems. The paint stuck right to it. And knock on wood, still going strong. Okay, I've got this top edge a coat on here, so I'm going to give it a quick little dry. We'll have to apply 2 coats. Just to make sure you've got all the pink covered up. Nothing's going to show through. Although with the design we're going with this one, a little pink showing through probably wouldn't hurt. Okay. That feels pretty dry. So now I can hold it here. Make sure you don't have paint adhesion medium on your fingers because they'll be tacky and it will lift your paint off. So make sure your hand that you're holding it with is clean. And we're going to put a coat down here. Now normally when I'm painting this for myself, I will set it aside and give it a good amount of time to dry, a good 30 minutes maybe while I work on something else or do something else, and come back to it and apply my second coat on here. Since we're on camera, I'm going to dry. Just a quick little settle it in there dry so that I can handle it. Okay, and that way I can go back. It wasn't quite dry on the edge there. Let me get it a little bit drier on my edges. So I can go up and get a second coat on here. So this is where you definitely want to make sure that you don't see any pink. You don't have to have heavy, thick coats here. Okay. A quick little dry so I can handle it. I'm going to be able to touch it here without lifting paint. And then we'll get our second coat on here. I need just a tiny bit of water in my paint here. That wasn't quite dry there, so it started lifting. This is why you want to make sure your layers are dry, so go ahead and make sure they're dry. You can add a little bit of the medium in with your paint. So I had a little lifting issue right there. You can see a little rough area right there. That's where my paint was lifting just a little bit. Okay, quick little kind of set it dry, and then I'll set it down and let it completely dry. Okay, so you can see that in there. Well, maybe not. Thought I could get it in the light where you could see it a little bit better. Where it kind of right there. Okay, let that dry. Okay, I've got my line drawing that I'm going to put on here, and try and do it as best I can. I want to always make sure where the edge is. So I'm just going to make this a basic heart. Okay, my V looks good where it's at. But my E looks a little high. So I want to bring it down just a little. I'm not sure how it got so high when I drew it, but I need it to fit. Okay, let's see if they transferred. Okay, not too shabby there. Alright, we're just going to put a base coat in here. I'm just going to use some white paint and get an undercoating on here since we're painting on top of black, and I want to get bright colors on here. Alright, so I'm going to try and get 2 smooth coats of white on here. I want them smooth because we're going to be adding bright colors on here, and bright colors tend to be a little bit more transparent. More letter here. Get a little bit of water in my paint so I can have a little bit more flow here. Maybe a little bit smaller round than what I'm working with here would be better. This was good for the L and the O. Okay, we got our initial base coat of white. I'm going to dry this and apply a second coat. Okay, I've got my colors picked out here that I want to try and use on this. I am using the DecoArt Love colors because they're pretty bright colors, but you can go straight with acrylic paint. I just wanted to try and make something a little bit different. So I've got these 2 blues here. That wasn't quite bright enough, and I kind of like the turquoise, so I think I'm just going to blend them a little bit and apply this color to my L. And again, it's going to take 2 coats of each color. I'll just go on here with the 1 coat on camera, dry it, and then I'll go with my second coat off camera. Okay, I might add a little white to that on my next go around because that could still be just a tad bit brighter, I think. Okay, let's see how this red will look on here. You can pick any colors that you want, any design that you want. And because you've got a black background at the end, you can come in and clean up your background. Okay. With green here, my orange was very thin, so I'm not 100% sure how that orange is going to work out. This green is really thick. Just take your time. Try not to have a ton of brush strokes in your paint. And try not to put your paint on, like thick. We're just doing a thin layer here. Okay. We're going to decorate up these letters a little bit. Let's see how this orange does. Actually is painting very nicely because it's not super thick like all the other colors. Or a little thick. Maybe I should have given them a little bit better shake. I don't know. Remember, you can clean up the background later. So try not to think too much about the background at this point. Okay, so I will let this coat dry really good so that I can come in with a second coat. Now when I do my second coats, I add just a touch of water to my paint so it has a nice flow to it. So I'm not putting in thick, heavy paint. That paint is really thick right there. I don't want thick, heavy paint on my project. Okay, that looks super cute, so I'm going to dry it and get a second coat on. Alright, so we're going to see if we can get some cuteness on this project. Now, this white and black is the love color. This black over here is the color, the Americana paint that we used as a base coat here. So this is what I used to touch up around all of my letters after I got the two coats in. So let's zoom in just a little bit. I want to create a thick edge on here. So along this edge and then down here along this edge, I want to create a little bit of a thicker edge. So my color here is these two colors plus white. So I'm going to take these two colors and a little bit of black. Maybe just a touch more black in there to make a dark blue color. I definitely want it to be different than that. So I'm just adding a tiny bit of black at a time. Let's see if this is going to be dark enough. A little bit more black in there. I obviously have to do it 2 times. Okay, and then I want to do the bottom edge. I want it to come down about 1/3 of the way on this edge. So we're creating a thick edge here. Okay, so that is on the L. We'll definitely be repeating that, and I need to take my black and shape that back there a little bit more. It should just be a little curve. All right, let's take the red and add some black to it. And we're going to go along this edge. And make a thick edge here. And we can make a little bit of a thick edge up here. Okay. A couple of coats on there is what we're going to need. Okay, so let's take our green and just a little bit of black. Maybe just a touch more. I like to just sneak up on it with that black. I don't want it to get crazy right away. I think it's going to need just a touch more to have enough contrast. Okay, so we're going to have a little bit along this edge. Go a little bit along that edge, and don't really want to go too much on this edge. I feel like it could use a little bit right there. I'll give that one a shot. Okay. This all will take 2 coats to get that nice and opaque orange. Mostly keeping this wider edge on the bottom and the right sides. Okay. Alright, that looks pretty good. So I need it to dry, and I'm going to do that a second time. Same mix on each one. Okay, my 2 coats are on here. And I put out some additional colors here, a light purple, yellow, pink, and this is kind of a berry wine type color. Magenta Magic is what it's called. And we're going to see if we can do some little flowers and hearts and things on all of these. I'm going to use my stylus to do that. I do not have any idea what size the stylus is. I would say whatever you have in styluses. Just look at the ends of them and find an end that, like if you have these assorted color ones, I don't know if they're all the same as far as colors, but this white one, the little bit bigger end would work probably for hearts and flowers. So, you know, you just have to kind of play around and see what you like. So I'm going to see if I can make a heart. And I'm not going to keep my stuff confined. inside my shape here. See, that's a pretty big heart, so I might want to go to a smaller stylus. I don't really want my stuff to be quite that big, because that's a pretty big heart. So let's see about maybe a pink flower. And you pretty much have to dip each petal. Okay, so that's a cute little flower on there. I'm just going to wipe the paint off, and let's do another color on here. See how well yellow is going to show up. Got a yellow flower on there. I'm just going to go I'm going to just pick and choose colors. You know, we don't have to do all the same. Fresh paint is also going to be the best bet here. Well, if I can get some paint. And this one's coming out kind of big. I don't want them quite this big. That one's pretty big. Okay, I want to put a white one over here. Again, I might go to a little bit smaller. I'm going to go to the smaller end on this one, see if it will make a smaller flower. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, that's fun. Okay, we haven't put any purple on here yet, so let's add maybe a purple heart. Purple heart there. Doesn't show up a ton. Let's try this darker purpley color. You can put dots and things around the background as well. You know, you can add some little dots in here. Now we're not going to do, I'm probably not going to do like traditional shading and highlighting. We shall see, because if I was going to do that, I probably should have done it already. Okay, I'm going to go to my red paint. It's not super fresh, so we'll see. You can do swirls, you know, if you want swirls on here. They're a little bit harder to do with a stylus, so you may have to do those with a paintbrush. So, my orange is not super fresh paint, so it turned out cute. Let's go with one of these blues here. Okay, let's just keep going all around and place some more colors. I'm gonna do another yellow. Maybe I'll just do some yellow dots. Do some white ones. Actually, I could put the white in the center. All my flowers. Your flowers don't have to have centers at all. You want to keep them more playful. You don't have to do the centers on there. You know, you could do a peace sign on here if you want to do that. I'm trying to think what other color I want to put on there for a flower. I think I might do a yellow one. I really like how playful they are. They look super cute. All right, let's put some more over here. My E needs a heart on it. So I think I might do maybe a pink heart. Not sure this stylus is big enough to do a heart. And that pink doesn't want to show up on there very well. This has to stay with lighter colors on it, I think. Let's try the turquoise. Need more here, so let's go with the green one, see if it's going to show up. And I'll put a green one over here. Okay, don't want to get my hand in my paint. Okay. Let's do a blue one here. Maybe I'll mix some white with that. The blue's quite showing up there. Well, I'll just keep it white, I guess. Put some white dots around and about. Let's do the centers of the flowers we just did. How are we doing? We've got 3 flowers on each one, it looks like. And this flower's outside of it instead of on it, but it's close enough. And we've got some little dots on there, a few little hearts. This one is the only one that doesn't have a heart, so let me put a heart on this one, and I think I'll go with... I've got yellow, white, and blue. Not sure orange will show up, so let's try a green heart. Somewhat like a heart. Okay, that looks super cool. Now on this piece up here, we could add white dots around it. You could go with a gold pen. This is a gold paint pen. And you could do squiggly lines around this top edge and maybe some white dots. I think I'll do that just to make it different. Okay, not just one squiggly line. I don't want to follow the same path that I took before. You put something on here and you don't like it, you can certainly paint over it with black paint. Okay, then I'm going to put some white dots. Around this. You can put those flowers like we made there all around this. So totally up to you what you do with it. I think that looks pretty cute. I happen to like that a lot. I love those little squiggles on there. And if you've got other color paint pens, you could do white, assorted colors, whatever. I think that looks super cute. Okay, I've got to get it dry, and then we're going to apply 3 coats of gloss varnish. I like to use high gloss varnish, or 3 coats of triple thick. Okay, with either one that you use, you need to have a little bit of water in your brush and blend it in with the varnish. Paint it as quickly and as smoothly as you can. Leave it alone. It will self-level and it will dry. So, and I will do it the same way that I did the black paint. I'll do the top area first, and then I will do the rest of it. You know, once that dries a little bit to where I can handle it, I'll do the rest of it. And I will do 3 coats, 1 hour in between on the high gloss. Okay, on the triple thick, you need 24 hours in between because this is a glaze. It's going to dry hard. This one has the triple thick on it. This one has the high gloss varnish on it. So there's not a lot of difference in the sheen. I think they'll both hold up well. So it really comes down to a personal preference on what you like. Alright, I've got my varnish dry. 3 coats of high gloss varnish. I allowed 1 hour of dry time between each coat. So now it is ready for me to use. Don't forget to sign your name. And this one is ready to go, you guys. How beautiful is that? That beautiful shine on there. I absolutely love how this turned out. I hope you guys have enjoyed painting along with me. Grab a bottle opener from my website while they're still there. I keep selling out, so get one while they're still there. And I appreciate you guys being here. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe. Please like. I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye-bye.